And I think we're live. Hello, Ariel.
Hey,
Good
how's it
morning. No,
going?
good evening. Good evening. Bloody hell. Good
Hey, good
evening.
evening for me. Good morning for you. Good evening for me.
Yeah, I had a nice breakfast. Here's still my coffee. So, all good. Ready to have a great stream. So, how are you? You busy? You
I'm
working
doing.
out? How's your back?
My back is feeling great.
That's good. That's good. Now, okay. So today we're talking about, or I put two main topics in the title or for the stream. But as always, I mean, yeah, we play it by ear. But we have main topic for me is Red Dead Redemption, the port for PlayStation 4 and Switch. So there's no native PlayStation 5 version. And then I think you like to talk maybe a little bit about LG, what they're planning to do in the future or not. That's the main thing, because, but as always, guys, if you like to have, or if you have a question, then just put a Q in the beginning. And then it's much easier for us actually to answer any question if you have any question, of course. Okay. So let me just check if everything is fine. I hope so. I mean, we are online. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Let's talk Red Dead Redemption. Have you ever played the game, the first part?
So I've tried to play the game on RPCS3, which is a PlayStation 3 emulator, and also on the Xenia emulator. Those are emulators for the PC to emulate Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. But it is unplayable, almost unplayable,
Unplayable.
because to get more than 30 FPS is a challenge, and the game
Oh,
drops.
yeah.
And it is because of the CPU. It is very, very CPU heavy, the emulation on RPCS S3 in general, but specifically Red Dead Redemption. So the GPU is like not even working, but the CPU cannot keep up. So yeah, it is almost unplayable. I would like to play it, but unfortunately, Rockstar didn't didn't release a PC port. It's like
Yeah, so that's the first thing for me, to be very honest, I mean, it's nice that now we have a PlayStation 4 version, but I mean, it's a joke, really. It's really a joke. Not even a 60 FPS update for. I mean, come on, the PlayStation 4 can run this game in 60 FPS. There's no PlayStation 5 needed, and then not even a PC port. I don't get it. That's so lazy. So and people buying this crap. To be honest, I'm sorry to say this. People buying it like I don't know. So no wonder Rockstar is doing this. No wonder they're getting money, a lot of money.
the thing is,
So
Rockstar is we're talking about unlimited resources. Okay, this is the company with. Let me close the window here because I have some noise coming. Yeah. So we're talking about Rockstar. We're talking about unlimited resources and talent. And I mean, their games are no low effort. Their games are, you see that the effort that they put into, GTA 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2 is
it's
insane. So I don't
absolutely,
understand
yeah.
how the same developers can give you something that is amazing and then just a low effort, like lazy port. It doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't understand. We have to judge Rockstar, because they are the best in terms of money wise. I mean, who has more money than Rockstar? Nobody. GTA 5 is the most successful game of all time in terms of revenue and success. GTA 5 is the game. So, in my opinion, in my view, it seems like Rockstar is retired. They are
Yeah.
not even working anymore.
No, I mean that's a cash grab. They found something where they can make easy money for a very little effort or almost no effort. Because porting this game, to be very honest, with just a little bit and better shadows makes probably and less aliasing. But come on, for $50, I don't even know how much it is here. To be very honest, I can have a look quickly because here in Australia everything is more expensive. But I just think it's a joke, to be very honest. But anyway,
Yeah.
can someone in the chat, someone bought the game?
Yeah, and I would like to know on the PS5, what is the like how hard is the game pushing the console? Like if the PS5 is like even working, um, I wonder if 30 FPS was because they it's too demanding, maybe because of the engine or whatever. Because on the PC it is very demanding to get more than 30 frames per second. It is
It's
very demanding.
$70 here. It's actually a full price title, in my opinion. I mean, okay, full price title we have with $80, $90, but what is $20 different? It's for me. But what I have to say, have you seen there are some emulators actually where people running the original Xbox 360 version with emulators in 60 FPS without any problem. So,
Yes, but it is possible, but you need a very, very powerful CPU. That's the Xenia emulator.
but they're yeah, okay.
It works. Yeah, if you
Yeah.
have a $5,000 PC, it works. If you have a $5,000 PC that you bought, within
But
the last year,
But let
it's
me
the
just
same.
make one comparison. See, we have now Red Dead Redemption PlayStation 4. Again, there's no native PlayStation 5 version at all. It's plain in backwards compatibility mode. And then on the other hand, just a month or 2 months, I don't know when did we actually got the Witcher 3 enhanced version? For free, by the way. For free. We got a massive update for The Witcher after years for this game. And we got a native PlayStation 5 and native Xbox Series version for free. No, nothing to pay. Just download a patch and you have suddenly 60 FPS mode, better textures, stuff like that. And then just maybe a month ago, they actually updated the HDR sliders and stuff like that as well. So for free again. Uh, Sorry, but Rockstar, you're absolutely lazy.
It just
Absolutely.
doesn't make any sense, really. And the GTA trilogy, it was terrible too. Um, this new they released the Vice City, San Andreas, the GTA trilogy, and it was terrible too. Like a lot of defects. The performance was very bad. The the models, the character models, very ugly, even worse than the original. That doesn't make any sense. I don't understand how that can happen.
I don't know either, but in my opinion, it was just a decision to make quick money, and that's what's happening. People buying this like crazy. There's no tomorrow. That's why they have to buy this. I don't get it really. And the only way companies learning is through your wallet. But all what they learned is then, we should do this again.
Yeah,
or, or what they learn. Anyway, that's just my opinion. But anyway, so in the game itself, when I played the game for the very first time on the Xbox 360, I don't know how many years ago, it was fantastic.
yeah, yeah.
It was fantastic, you know what I mean? It went back then 30 FPS felt like okay, but we haven't had a high end 4K OLED screen or whatever, you know what I mean? Different story. Anyway, so yeah, Grand Theft Auto rumored for release next year. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm looking forward for the game because they are fantastic games. You know,
Absolutely.
really, you have to say. And I think the first time are they releasing it at the same time for the PC? Was there not something, or
I
is
am
this
not
still
sure about
like?
that. They usually release it on the PC a year later. Unfortunately,
Okay.
that's what they usually do. With Red Dead Redemption 2, they do it. They did it like that with GTA 5. They think that maybe they want to make sure that the PC, because of piracy, PC gamers don't want to pay for games, don't pay for games, so they want to make sure that their game doesn't get stolen. That's what they give you, like 1 year. They wait 1 year on the PC version, then their security is very good. So then it's another year until they can pirate the game. So they have like a buffer of 2 years where when they are actually making money with the game. So that's what they usually do. But I hope they release it on the PC day one. Um, the only thing that concerns me about GTA 6 is that you know I'm not sure if you saw the leak videos from GTA
I
6.
try to avoid everything like that.
You didn't want to see anything.
Nah, nah.
No, I did. I watch everything that released.
Okay, spoiler
And
alert.
no, I'm not. No, no. Here's the thing: we cannot say, we cannot draw any conclusions from that because it's an unfinished product,
Yeah,
of course. And an unfinished product is gonna look bad because it's unfinished.
yeah,
There are things that are missing. But definitely you can see the level of things that they are working on, the level of detail, the level of care. They're trying to make every single detail work because you can see. And actually, I thought that was very cool. And even for games after the game's release, I would love to see a compilation like that where you can see the way they are working. But of course, that information is secret because you were able to see the codes and all of that. But that
yeah.
was very interesting to me. But here's the thing: it was looking very similar to GTA 5. So what I mean is that it seems like they are using the same engine. And I have to say, man, that engine looks very ugly because of the sharpness of the game. Red Dead
Mm,
Redemption 2 is just absolutely amazing in terms of the details. The
yeah.
level of care is off the chart. It's nothing comes even close. But the problem is the presentation looks blurry, even with DLSS. So then you try to add sharpness and it looks over sharpened. It just doesn't look right. It looks bad, in my opinion. And it seems like they are using the same tools, the same engine for GTA 6. So maybe
Okay.
it is going to be a little bit improved, but I hope it doesn't look blurry like that. And then you have GTA 5, which doesn't, GTA 5 doesn't look blurry on the PC. But then the aliasing is all over the place. And actually, Digital Foundry said that the PlayStation 5 update, in terms of the anti aliasing, was looking better than the PC, significantly
Oh,
better.
yeah.
Um, and because on the PC, even if you use 4K, 8 times MSAA, you still have aliasing. So it doesn't, no matter what you do, you have aliasing on the game. So yeah, on the PS5, they said it was looking better. And they didn't update the PC like that. I don't know why. I don't know
Because
why.
it's too much work for them.
Yeah,
That's
I don't
why.
understand.
So I mean, we can just hope that actually Rockstar game is continuing to deliver good games, which I hope, and not going into a very lazy mode, with with GTA 6, and just to say, are people buying anyway? Because that's what is happening with Red Dead Redemption, unfortunately. People buying every. I'm not saying it's a shitty game, but every shitty port, that's that's what people buying. It's
The thing
crazy.
is that their games are insane. They are very, very good.
Yeah.
Have you played LA Noir?
Oh no,
LA
not really.
Noir?
No, no. It's
That
this
game,
gangster game, huh? Where you play
yes,
the.
that
Yeah.
game is just. I'm gonna tell you what's unique about that game. The face captures, the emotions of the characters is just unique. Like some things on that game, it has never been done before or after. Like you've never seen a game like that, basically, in terms of the face animations. So of course the character models they look outdated. Okay, they don't look fantastic, but their facial expressions are so true to life. Not true to life, of course not. But you can understand their animations. You can understand their feelings by looking at their faces and actually the
Mm.
gameplay that is relevant to the gameplay because you have to guess if someone is lying or something. So that's important and relevant to the gameplay. It's just unbelievable. It has never been done before. It looks incredible. So their games are very, very good. They have things that transcend the the graphical fidelity, transcend this thing. What I'm talking about, oh, the anti-aliasing is ugly, yeah, but the animations are best in class.
Mm.
You are in Red Dead Redemption, you're driving a horse and then you go against an object on the game and you see that the
Yeah, yeah.
animation of
It's
the
it's real. It's
interactions
yeah. I got you. I mean, this is really the
insane.
first time when I started Red Dead Redemption 2. I was like, you start in the snowstorm in the very beginning, because I don't give much of all the sequences or cutscenes and whatsoever because that's fine. But then you're in the game and you think, is this now gameplay? Well, shit, this looks great. And then you can see that the snow actually builds up on the horse. You know what I mean? The longer you wait, and say, this is unreal. This is just unreal. The love to details, you know. And then you have a port like this now. This doesn't make much sense. But from a company point of view, it makes sense, of course. But I don't know.
This game, that game is so good because the script. Because I played a little bit. I tried to play it actually because it is so good. I was willing to try playing the game, with bad performance on the emulator because it is so good. You see the dialogues and
Yeah.
the script, what's going on. You wanna play the game, but the thing is, I forgot what I was gonna say. I'm sorry. So it is a very, very, very good game that transcends the technical limitations. So I remember what I was gonna say. What that game deserves is like a Resident Evil treatment. That kind of remake. Because you have the base game is amazing, the story, everything is amazing. You have to just change everything that looks outdated, and then you have an incredible game that would be a very, very successful game. Some people disagree. They much rather have them working on something new, and that makes sense too. But if you're going to do a port, just do a Rockstar level of quality port. It just makes sense. They are the best. They should do the best ports and the
Yeah.
best everything. So yeah, that's my take on that. It
Yeah.
really.
So Trump for American. I'm not going into politics, but yeah, maybe a good idea. Anyway, a GTA 6 isn't that promising. I'm afraid Rockstar is not the game company anymore. I mean, look, we will see. We will see. I'm very disappointed. I mean, we know that Rockstar is so bad with their ports or remakes, remasters, whatever you want to call this crap, what they're doing. And then you have other companies, they're delivering just perfect remakes or whatsoever after years. But I don't know. In terms of GTA 6, I hope it's not just copy and paste from GTA 5. But we need to be honest here as well. I mean, at some point, what can you add? You know what I mean? I mean, more details, more freedom in terms of what you can do, maybe. But that's it. There will be not different cars or whatever. What can you add? On GTA 6. So at some point, of course, they're running out of ideas as well, which is understandable. But yeah, let's see if at least the technical part of the game is on a great level. I just hope so.
I'll be honest. I am expecting GTA 6 to be the best game ever, and nothing coming even close. That's my expectations. Like that's I have. Why? Simply because Rockstars they have all the resources, and they've been working on that game for more years than any other developer ever. Like there's no game that with more years of development, with more resources, and with more
Yeah.
talent, that has to be the best game ever. And anything that is not that is a big failure, in my opinion. It has to be.
so so we have now the expectation like here from Ariel.
Yeah, the highest expectation, of course. I mean, I GTA 5 was a fantastic game in my opinion. I mean, I I I can say that's the best game ever just because it's the most successful game in terms of the money that has generated. And it was just an incredible game. I beat GTA 5 with every single new PC, or I upgrade my component, or I change the monitor, or whatever. I beat GTA 5 again just to see it better, to see it better. I beat GTA 5 so many times. It's a fantastic game. So yeah, expectations are very high.
Very, very high. I mean, look, in terms of expectations, when we're talking quick, that's just it's not part of the story here. But I just played Baldur's Gate 3 yesterday again, and I can't stop playing this bloody game. I can't stop. So in terms of great games or whatsoever, yeah, I'm expecting something like that for GTA 6 as well. That you just can't stop playing. You like to see what's next. But yeah, let's see. I mean, you're right, they're working on this game for years now, which is I mean, it takes time, of course. The only question what I have, is it how is it performing at the end? Do you need a 5090 to play in 70 FPS with ray tracing ultra or whatsoever? And how is it performing on a PlayStation 5? Or maybe we have PlayStation 5 Pro, you know, then
Well,
you can play with.
if they are using the same engine that they use with Red Dead Redemption 2, it's gonna perform similar to Red Dead Redemption 2. Maybe it's going to have more demanding features. They like to go crazy with the settings, especially on the PC. In Red Dead Redemption, the list of settings is just insane, and there are some settings that are not worth it. Like you increase that, and you can barely tell the difference, and your FPS drops like 20
Yeah, yeah,
frames or something like that. Like the water physics, for example, you increase that water physics, you max that out. You cannot tell the difference. It's so difficult to see, and the FPS drop is huge. So it is not a great tool. That engine is just outdated. They've been using it for way too many years. So I hope I'm wrong,
yeah.
and they figured something out and it performs well. But I don't know. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I hope they're improving their engine because I agree with you. They will not going to use a different one, and hopefully they're not using Unreal Engine 5. But it's of course not. That's of course not. They're doing this not. No, no, no. But that's a different story. Maybe for the next stream, why Unreal Engine 5 is crap. Actually, it's not crap, but we don't have the hardware yet. So that's the problem. Hey, yeah. I mean, I don't know. So I mean, this one here. I hope GTA 6 is day one on PC. Yeah, I heard something, but that's just rumors. I think it's nothing is confirmed yet or whatsoever. And I don't know. Let's see. Let's see. It makes probably, I don't know if it makes sense to release this first on the next gen consoles and then on PC. I don't know. Let's anyway. Just hope they're doing the right thing in terms of optimizing the game. Because we have seen so many unoptimized games lately on both PC or consoles, and I'm getting sick of this, really. It's not nice. Okay. Just give me a second. I'm just reading through a couple of comments if we have something. This one here. I heard that many strong people left Rockstar. I'm not aware of that, but maybe. I mean, is it probably it's normal that people leaving companies to achieve something different. I don't know. But of course, if lead people leaving a company, that's always bad.
Yeah, it is just so weird that they don't release anything. I mean, they they just don't release anything, and then when they release something, is Red Dead Redemption like this lazy port or the GTA trilogy? It just doesn't make any sense. It looks like they are retired to me. They just have this massive success, and they just don't want to work anymore. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
correct.
it.
Anyway, so let me just quickly answer this. And no, I'm not doing this. I haven't pre-ordered the game. Not at all. No, sorry, not at this stage. Would be interesting, but this month and the upcoming months are so expensive in terms of games. Unbelievable. September, October is crazy. I don't know. I need to rob a bank or whatever. I don't know how to do this.
Yeah, for a game like Mortal Kombat, if they have HDR, I hope that they have an option to lower the brightness of the HUD elements, because if you are like a if you're playing those kind of games all the time, like I know people that like to play Street Fighter, for example, and they play that a lot, a lot, a lot. On HDR, those bright HUD elements, of course, burning is not like a big issue anymore, but you don't want to have those bright elements all the
Correct.
time.
Yeah.
So a
Yeah. No. No.
fighting game that has HDR has definitely, it needs to have an option of transparency for the HUD, maybe lower the brightness, and even moving the HUD elements and everything.
I don't. I
But
don't.
of
I
course,
don't need
that's too
HUDs
much
and
to ask.
for Mortal Kombat, I don't know if you need huts. I would like something like what's the name? Dynamic huts, you know? If you're in the last 10% of your health, whatever, then start showing it or whatever. But you know, because it's always, you know, if you have a game like where you can disable the hut, it's so
Yeah.
much better. It's so
Oh,
much better.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. But
And
maybe for competitive games, you need to see it all the time, of course. But yeah,
absolutely, yeah.
I like I mean, for example, I wanted to play these games, Genshin Impact, for example, just because I like how it looks, the colors, the colorful game. But because the HUD is undefeatable, you cannot turn off the HUD. And you have HUDs everywhere. They are very bright. And you even have a number, a code that is this long on the screen all the time, even during the cutscenes. And that's just ridiculous. I couldn't play the game because of that. You cannot turn off the HUD. It's just bad,
Okay.
man. I don't like.
Yeah, that's no. So no, PC always must wait for new GTA games. Yeah, that's what's happened in the past and most likely here as well. And for NBA as well, unbelievable. Really, they're actually okay. Don't know why, but that's how it is. Okay, so because we're doing timestamps today a little bit, I would say we move on to the next topic. So Red Dead Redemption, we agree. Chat, we agree that Red Dead Redemption port is crap, but 50% of the chats people still bought it, so all good. So,
Oh, you can always refund it, no? I mean, again, I
now,
wish I would like to see what is the do you hear the PS5, is it working? Like, maybe you can hear the noise of the fan or something. Do you hear it is working hard, or maybe it's like nothing, like it's just not even.
I have no idea. I would expect that you can't hear anything because again, it's just backwards compatible. It's not using anything from the PlayStation 5 power. That's what
Yeah, but
I
I'm
heard.
I'm wondering if to get 30 FPS the PS5 is like, max out, or it's just not even, because if they could
Yeah,
give you 60 FPS, why not? Just-
because because they're stupid. Because that's how it is. Come on, that's I think so. I really think so. Anyway, that's maybe I'm wrong, but Red Dead Redemption 1, I'm very sure should be able to run on the PlayStation 5 in 60 FPS. Come on, please.
oh, absolutely.
Anyway, okay, let's move on to the next topic. We have next topic is LG and where I saw it? Just give me a second. Here, this one. We're doing this one. Hardware lava. Hey guys, what do you mean with this? LG doesn't care about TVs anymore. I think Ariel, you did a video on this as well, or?
Yes, I saw that the first time from the FOMO YouTube channel. FOMO. I mean, I'm sure all of you know FOMO if you like to watch TV reviews and like, are a display enthusiast. So he made a video about this, showing some proof. LG, officially stating that they are changing their the way they are doing business, to change from a hardware oriented and focused business model to a software, just to a service business model. And that is terrible news, because that's the same that other companies did before, like Hisense, and they are only making crappy TVs. they they don't do anything high end. So basically, what that means is that if they tried this new, service model thing, and they start making a lot of money with that, then they see, okay, with the G4, or G3, G4, G5, we're making less money. Why bother? It is all about money. So if they can
Of
just
course.
release a cheap TV that costs them less to manufacture, and they don't have to invest in the technology, and they're making more money, they're just gonna stop making high-end TVs. It's that simple. Why bother with that? And that is just terrible news. Terrible news, because other companies, they're gonna start doing the same, and then in the future,
Of
what
course.
are we gonna get? Crappy TVs. And of course, I am still expecting the TVs to improve because improvements are inevitable. Technology is going to advance, and that is inevitable. But what that's going to mean is that if we get a good TV, it's because it was inevitable. like like they didn't even try. Okay, it was not their intention to make a good TV, and that's just terrible news. Terrible, because we could be getting much better products.
So that means, guys, don't sell your LG OLED TV because that's the last good one. No,
Maybe.
that's really not a good thing, of course. I mean, of course, company, the main thing is money. Of course, I can understand this, but uh, innovations, if this stops, this is very really bad. You know what I mean? I mean, and we need to be fair. We're just talking about TVs, but if the same thinking maybe back then, have the first car manufacturer, okay, so said, oh, that's fine, maybe, Mercedes-Benz said, oh, we have now 4 tires and we can drive 30 kilometers, that's enough, we don't need more, and we would have 30-kilometer cars. You know what I mean? That's very bad thinking, absolutely bad thinking. I fully agree, and we need to have better TVs at some point. I mean, they're really on a great level at the moment, but they can be better, of course. Maybe they the improvement will be not like visible, like if you compare now TV with a 10-year-old model. Of course, that's a big step. And if you now probably compare TV with in 10 years with a newer model, maybe the difference is not that significant. For sure not, because we are already on a very high level. But in terms of brightness, in terms of colors and stuff like that, in terms of depth of the picture, sharpness and stuff like that, motion clarity, there is a lot to improve, to be honest, a lot to improve. And if you're absolutely right, if LG or if one big company starts doing this, then other companies doing the same, because they're competing to each other, and many people will still buy LG TVs, and they're making then much more money out of the TVs. And then, of course, Sony is thinking, oh, the same. I like to do the same. We like to just sell our old crap over and over again, and people buying it.
Yeah,
Not good.
and actually, the companies that the sad thing is that it seems like the companies that really try to make the best TV, like Sony or Panasonic, because they have reputation that they're trying. Okay, they're trying to make a good TV. It seems like they are struggling to survive. And then you have companies like Hisense that just make crappy TVs, and they are making more money than the rest of them.
Because
That's
they're
where the
cheap. I mean,
problem is.
look, you also have to when we talking about prices from the high-end TVs, and that's the reason why I don't have a Sony TV. Even they are a little bit better, which you probably not even can't see in a side-by-side comparison, or very hard to see. Full stop. That's what my understanding is, or my opinion is. Because all its TVs, it doesn't matter if it's Samsung, the S95C, the LG G3, or the A95L, they're all on a very high level. So, and the differences are very, very small or little. But they're costing like ridiculous amount of money. They're costing a lot of money. So the S95C is the cheapest one, or the most affordable one from all the threes. Then you have the G3, and then the A95L. I don't even know how much they're asking here in Australia. I don't even bother to look, because I will not buy it. The last TV from Sony was over $6,000 here in Australia for a 65-inch version. Over $6,000 in an economy where people struggling, where the power prices, or the power gas prices going up like crazy here in Australia as well. You can't expect that you sell this TVs anymore, not like before. It's just normal.
So how much is the Australian dollars in comparison with the US?
You're asking me questions. I'm not a.
Let me see, because I mean, the TVs here on the US, I think they are actually very cheap.
So one Australian
Especially,
dollar is 64 US cents.
okay, okay, yeah, so it's like 30, 36%. So,
Probably, yeah.
but the thing is, the TVs after 1 year, after they are no longer like the brand new thing, they drop in price dramatically. I mean, for example, the S95B was $1,000 and below, even. No, it was $1,300, $1,200, $1,300 for the 55-inch, and it dropped to $1,000 at some point. So I mean, a QD OLED, and S95B for $1,000, a 55-inch. That's
Yeah,
very
yeah.
cheap.
So I agree with you that of course they're dropping at some point, but so here can I actually no, I can't share this. It's bloody StreamYard. We need to invest in StreamYard at some point. But anyway, so here the A95K from last year is still $5,000, 65-inch version. And I agree with you. Of course, at some point they will drop in price probably if they like to get rid of the last models or whatsoever what they have in stock. So the LGG2 is not even available anymore. Of course not. What is the LGG3 here? So 65-inch version is $5,300. G3 here in Australia, $5,300. I can tell you that's a lot of money. I mean, that's a lot of money. If I consider how much you earn, how much you have to spend for groceries and stuff like that, it's just too much. People not buying this anymore. And the thing is also what I learned by in a hard way. They actually so usually end of financial years around June, July. I think it's the same as in US. Not quite sure. And you get usually you do your tax return. And during the COVID time, the government had some special tax benefits and stuff like that. So they run out this year. So last time I received, I think, a little bit over $1,000 back tax return. This year, it's $52 what I'm receiving back. So usually people around this, you have this end of financial year sales, and people going and spend their tax money on this
The
stuff,
tax
but
money
not
and new
not
stuff.
this
Yeah.
year. What can I buy for $52? Shit. So this is what companies are learning the hard way. They're selling suddenly thousands of TVs less, and they're making this, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
So
the reason why I think about TVs like a good deal is in comparison with monitors. Because, for example, right now here in the US, to get a monitor, that's an OLED monitor, 1440p, 27-inch LG Ultra Gear monitor, that's like $1,000. Okay. So that doesn't make any sense, in my opinion, because you can get a TV that's much bigger, 42 or 48 inches, for about the same price with a glossy finish, okay, and that is 4K. Yes, it is not 240 hertz. It would be better if it was 240 hertz. But my point is that with the TVs, we are getting a bigger screen size for the money. And what I want is for TVs to get better, to get a better deal, because I would like TVs to, OLED TVs to be 240 hertz or more, and get better, because it's always going to be a better price than monitors, in my opinion. Monitors, they charge you
absolutely.
more money, and you have less
Yeah, yeah.
features, less settings. You don't have a smart TV. Like monitors, when you are on HDR, sometimes you have no settings whatsoever, no black level control, no color control, nothing, and it's just a bad in comparison with a TV. So I love TVs. That's why I think that's why I would like the companies to keep improving, and not like LG, like, okay, we don't care anymore, we're just gonna do service more.
Okay, let's answer Rufus' question. I want to buy a LG C1. Good decision. Can't find them in person. Would you guys recommend getting one shipped from an online shop? Look, every TV I ordered was shipped to my house because there's no way I can put this in my car. And I would also not recommend actually to lay down a TV. It has always to be transported upside down. Okay, not upside down, standing. Okay, so. And I fear it might get damaged during transport. So as far as I know, here in Australia, you're not responsible if something is happening during the transport. That's not your problem. That's the company's problem. Okay. If you receive the package, just check for some damage or whatsoever, and then just enjoy your TV. And you need to consider this TV what you bought was already on the road for many thousands kilometers. So it was maybe on a ship, maybe on a train, maybe on a truck already. So the last 50 kilometers to your house will be fine. No worries.
Yeah.
very sure about this. So yeah, go
The
ahead.
other angle that we can talk about here with this idea of just service model and all of that is Xbox and Game Pass. And I don't want to hate on Xbox, but the
No,
idea
I agree
of a
with
service model and have just a bunch of games that are not very good games there, it just downgrades the quality of the games, in my opinion. Because I mean, what game has Xbox released that's just you know amazing in the last for this time? I don't see it. So the service model kind of mentality, it just lowers the quality of the products, in my opinion, from what I can see. So that's the other thing I compare this LG going to a service model with the Xbox Game Pass, because it's something that we can see the quality of the games are is going down. That's what I see. Maybe other people see it differently, but that's what I see.
No, I agree with you. Uh, I so to make it quick, there are more AAA games on the PlayStation 5 than on the Xbox or first party games. Absolutely. That's how it is, in my opinion. So, but yeah, service like Game Boy, it's great, to be honest. I like it, but I agree with you. We have 2 million games, and out of the 2 million games, 1,999,000 games are just, you don't want to
Yeah.
play them anyway. So DJ is writing Sony A95L 9500 at Good Guys Australia. So that's for the 77-inch version, $6,000 for the 95-inch version. Sorry, 95, 65-inch version, 65. So $6,000 for a TV is, believe me when I ask my friends, is a no-go at the moment. Absolutely no-go. They're calling you crazy. I mean, they're calling me crazy, but I was lucky. I paid for my for my S95C 65-inch a little bit over $4,000, including shipping. So it was really, really good and you can make good prices, just because $6,000 on the website doesn't mean you have to pay this. If you find a nice guy, you get a lot of discount. But still, $6,000, that's at this stage in this economy, I would not buy it. I can't afford this. So, and next year for sure, I'm not going to buy a new TV anyway, because it's just too much money every year to spend. To be sorry, no, that's how it is.
Yeah, if they don't try to make a better TV, why would you ever buy another TV? That's the thing.
Yeah. So and here I got Samsung S95C for $5,100. That's a great price actually. 77-inch for $5,100. And to be honest, I really like to see. I mean, that's why I would be curious. If I would have the money, of course, I would buy the A95L just to compare it with the S95C to see, is it worth the upgrade? Is it worth the money? And as I said in many other videos, when I compared my CX with the G2, when I compared the CX with the S95C, it's not worth the money, the upgrade. It's, yes, you can see a difference, but you spend $4,000 for a slightly brighter pictures with slightly better colors. It's not
But
worth it.
but the A95L is not brighter than the S95C
Yeah,
based on the
that's
numbers.
the next thing. Yeah. So
It
what
is
you
not
have
bright.
probably with Sony is the best motion clarity, probably. But that's also then the question: can you see this? Because people, they're buying TVs and then they're sitting 6, 7, 8 meters away from a 77-inch, and believe me, that's not close, and then you can't see anything anymore in terms of differences.
Yeah, so I
Yeah,
mean, I haven't tested the motion of the Sonys, and they might have a good motion interpolation to watch movies. The motion can only be as good as the refresh rate if they are just using interpolation. But of course, it is very important to have good motion interpolation, because myself personally, I cannot watch movies at 24 frames per second. I have to use interpolation. So it is very important. But from what I've seen, the first numbers is like 1300 nits, the A95L, 1300 nits
it's
after calibration.
it's using the same panel as the
Yeah,
S95C, so
the
there's no
2000 nits is on vivid mode with
yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
color temperature.
this was anyway. Now that's always. I mean, look, brightness on my S95C is in my opinion good, because what I have seen is and this is when we started talking, or we talked about this already, when is HDR actually too bright in terms of, is it really too bright? So and I had the experience with The Witcher, and I watched The Witcher in a complete dark room, and you fell asleep. You're like in this kind of dozing, and then suddenly they're changing the picture, and I have this bright sun, and you just fucking hell, you know. It's
You were
just
getting
too much,
sleepy.
you know what I mean? And I actually reduced the brightness to continue watching, because I was too tired to watch this changing between very dark, and then suddenly you have an outside scene where they're trying to kill your eyes or whatsoever. But on the other hand, when you and I experienced this when you're very very tired, you know what I mean, because then your eyes already, the pupils going smaller and whatsoever, and then suddenly you have this bright light. It's just terrible. But in terms of what I also found in terms of SDR brightness, when I compared my CX with the S95C, bloody hell, the CX in SDR is still great when we comparing the normal content. Of course, the full screen brightness is better on the S95C, but there's very less moments where you have really a very bright white pictures. Okay, so but the average content or average brightness on the CX, there's almost no difference to the S95C. And now I'm talking about the CX, you know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
can't compare side by side my G2 with the S95C. Would be, of course, a different story then, because then probably I would say, oh, there is not really a difference. And we're not talking about SDR gaming. That's a huge difference, okay? SDR gaming on the S95C gets bright as crazy, and the CX is just lacking the performance. But in terms of average content, nah, there's almost no reason to upgrade, in my opinion.
Yeah, if you increase the brightness of the, if you just let it run a while on the S95C, you should get a lot of brightness on SDR. Actually, these companies, they are more concerned about SDR in terms of burning than on HDR, because you can get a brighter picture
Yeah,
overall
yeah,
all the time.
yeah.
So what I heard from the A95L in terms of the motion clarity is that they separated the dejutter deblur. So now you have option to increase the, to do the motion interpolation for low frame rate content, 24 and 30, and for 50 and 60. That's separated, and there are only like three levels of the interpolation. One, two, and like three settings only. It doesn't have like a 10 levels like the LG,
Okay.
but it is good based on what they say. It's a good motion interpolation algorithm. It has, of course, black frame insertion, but it's only limited to 60 FPS for the black frame insertion. So it flickers. It is visible. The flickering is visible, and it only doubles the motion clarity for 60 FPS content. So that's not great. So the thing that hurts to me is that black film insertion is getting a bad reputation, because every time we see a review or a preview of a TV, like one of these newer TVs, the reviewer says, "Oh, this feature is just bad for most people because it flickers. You can see the flickering, and it lowers the brightness, and they don't give it a chance." And the problem is that they are not working and improving this feature. This feature can be very, very good and not flicker at all. On the CX, if you use this OLED Motion Pro High at 120 FPS, you cannot see a flickering, or I should say, most people are not going to be able to see any flickering whatsoever. Yes, the brightness goes down, but it is usable. It is just not as bright, but it is usable, and the motion clarity improves dramatically. So yeah, the feature is just getting a bad reputation with these newer TVs, because they are only implementing it for 60 FPS. And the S90,
Mm.
the A95L is no different. It's the same as the S95C, same as the G2, same as the C2. All the TVs after 2021, basically, they lost this 120 black frame insertion. And the
Mm.
QD OLEDs, I mean, I'm sure there are some challenging. some challenges to get that feature working for higher frame rates. But it would be amazing because they are so bright, especially full screen. So you should still have a very bright picture with that feature. Have you tried it on your S95C at all?
I played a little bit, but again, I stick with the Motion Plus at the moment
Oh,
when I
right.
play Diablo, and I just love it. I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
love it because
absolutely. If it's a low latency interpolation, you don't lose
absolutely
brightness. You get the same motion clarity. Yeah, of course.
it's it's great. Yeah,
But I would
I'm
like
just
to know how do you see the brightness difference? If you can measure that, it should be half the brightness. If
probably.
you measure the peak brightness, it should be half, exactly half, or a little bit
Yeah, it would
less
be
maybe.
interesting to because we have a 144 hertz panel. If it's 144 hertz or if it's 120 actually, but I don't know how to check this actually.
It
But
should
at
be
the end, it
one. It should be 120. It
should
should
be.
be 120. Yeah. So the basically the game motion plus should have the same 60 FPS should have the same motion clarity as the this BFI option. Maybe it is higher. If it is higher, it means like the interpolation is going up to 144. I'm not sure if it's going up to 144 or 120. That's very difficult to tell the difference.
Yeah, yeah. I can just say there's a huge difference between off and on, a huge difference, and you can't feel anything in terms of input lag. Nothing,
That's awesome.
nothing. Okay, let me just quickly answer this. I always thought you were from Germany. I am originally from Germany, but I live in Australia since too long. And this one is actually interesting. What do you think? Actually, you can say if a TV costs $3,500, then it costs maybe 1,000 to produce or lesser. That's a good question. I have no idea, and we will never know it. But the fact that you have so many companies between when they actually finish producing a TV, you have so many companies, with shipping, handling, and whatsoever, and they're all earning money on this. Yes, I think the price is probably maybe it's not even $1,000, what it costs at the end. Probably. Maybe in the beginning when they did QD OLED, maybe the first panel of the S95C, sorry, the S95P was higher in the production because a new panel. But now with the S95C, maybe it's cheaper. That's
Yeah, maybe with this new service business model, they are not going to care as much about making too much money with the TVs because they're still gonna be making money after you buy the TV. But the bad thing is that you get low quality products. But there is a company, FOMO mentioned on his video, that gives you the TV for free. Because
yeah,
yeah, as long as you are willing to have ads on the screen all the time, you have
all
like
the
the bottom
time.
of the yes, you have like the bottom of the screen with ads all the time, but the TV is free. That's just
I
so
would not buy.
crazy.
No, no, no,
They
really
give
not.
you the TV for free. That's just very, very bad. That cannot be a
Yeah,
good
no,
TV for sure. That's just a terrible
no,
product.
for sure not. No, anyway, that's not good though. What is this? It's too much money for too little improvement with the new TVs. Yes, I agree. I agree. There's not much of a difference, and you can see. So even in some movies, or tests, when I compare CX in HDR with the S95C, it really depends on what you're watching. That you actually can see a difference in terms of specular highlights and brightness. It's really like that. And what we know is that most HDR colors are still in the SDR range, so there's no problem to display them actually on the CX. Just some colors, in games or whatsoever, you can see that the CX or the G2 or the G3 as well is not capable of showing this in the same brightness as the S95C. So technical, the S95C is a way better TV than all OLED TVs what I have, or all the LG TVs, but the content is missing. A
Yeah,
little bit.
the worst thing is the content, man, because I mean, most of the TV content, like sports, news and all of that, That's like 720p, 30 frames per second.
Yeah,
It's a very
it's
low quality content, SDR. And movies are low frame rate content. Don't look great, in my opinion. They look terrible, actually. I made it a video rant about that. I'm not sure if you watched that. I mean, I feel very strong about it. I'm sure a lot of people are going to disagree with that view. Of course, what are we gonna do? It's what we have. The movies are very low frame rate. But think about sports. I mean, I'm sure I can win the battle with sports for everybody.
yeah,
Imagine you watch the Olympic Games at 120 frames per second, 4K,
absolutely
120, HDR.
great.
I mean, who can argue with that? I mean, with a
Some
very smooth
enthusiasts they think
sport.
30 FPS is good.
No, no, no. Nobody
No,
can
no, I
argue with
fully
that. I'm
agree. I
sorry.
fully agree with you.
Sports.
I fully agree with you. You know,
And
there must
maybe
be.
there is, yeah, maybe the infrastructure might not be ready or something, but I don't believe so. Streaming services, they have enough bandwidth to do at least 1080p, 120. It should
Yeah,
be
but
possible.
yeah, it's technical possible for sure, but it costs more money. That's why they're not doing it. That's all. It's all about money at the end.
The
And
cameras they are using are good enough. So
absolutely,
I don't think it's a
absolutely.
problem with the cameras they are using. But yeah, for sure, yeah, more bandwidth might cost
Yeah.
more money.
And here in Australia, we are happy that we can actually stream in 1080p. Believe me, some areas they have so bad internet. Really, believe me, it's
Yeah,
just
that's true. That's
ridiculous.
true.
Third
That's
world
really
country, really,
yeah, but
and
it
not even
makes sense
third world
because
country.
most TVs. Would you say that most TVs and monitors on the market are 120 hertz? I think so.
I
Most of
would
the
say
TVs
so.
right now,
Yeah.
most of the
I mean,
TVs
to be,
right now, LCDs and OLEDs, like everything is 120. Most of them, I believe. Maybe I'm wrong on that.
I'm not quite sure about the low end TVs. Probably not, but mid range and of course high end. And the same counts for monitors. There, I mean, I still can see there are monitors out there for which are just having 60 hertz, which I would never buy, but they're just costing $200 then. I mean,
Well,
don't expect any quality.
maybe just 60. I mean, I'm trying to get 120, but they are giving us 30 for sports. Maybe just 60. That'll be great.
No, I mean, look, I watched the Women's World Cup here because it's in Australia. I watched the German team and then I couldn't watch it anymore because not because of technical difficulties, because they're just bad, you know. Anyway, but there was just Optus. Optus is a mobile retailer, whatever, and this was the only way. I think there was maybe another, but that was the only way for me to watch it, and it was terrible quality. Fucking hell, it was so terrible quality. You
And
have the MPEG compression all the time. Then the ball stutters and whatsoever. I tried the settings on my S95C. It's not my bloody TV because it was on every TV the same shit, even on the cheap LCD. And I can tell you, even on this cheap LCD, just a 60 hertz, it was actually the best because of this. It was so blurry you couldn't see anything. You know? But in terms of it was terrible quality. Terrible quality.
do you watch the Bundesliga?
Yes, not really. No, no,
No. Okay.
no, not really. No, I'm a bad German. I know.
Okay.
So DJ wrote S95C with motion processing is 19 milliseconds versus 85 on the LG G3. I was look. Before Ariel actually asked me to try it, and I never tried those features because I wasn't aware of those features, you know. And since I experienced this on the Samsung, I can't play. So what I'm doing actually, my Xbox runs on the S95C in the 60 hertz mode all the time because then I can use the motion clarity or game motion settings. 120 hertz it doesn't work, but with 60 FPS and then 60 hertz and 60 FPS games or 30 FPS games, doesn't matter. It looks so much better because you can compare this. You know what I mean? You move in Diablo 4, and this is the best example actually what I have, because it's a really great when you stay and when you stand and not move, it's really really sharp. And then as soon you move on the CX or G2, it's blurry. Of course, 60 hertz, 60 FPS, it's not that great. The same game on the S95C looks absolutely sharp when you move. You know what I mean? And that's why it's a big difference, a big difference. And again, I can't feel a difference in terms of input lag, to be honest. Not in a
Yeah,
game like
because in a game like Diablo or maybe even Baldur's Gate, you have the entire background is moving
yeah,
on the screen. So when you have a lot of things moving on the screen, if you pay attention to it, you will see that difference
absolutely.
huge.
There's no doubt, there's no doubt. And the problem is always you think about you should make a video about this, but it's so hard to capture this. It's so hard to capture this, the real difference,
Yeah,
it's
the only way, if you want to make a video about this, the only way to capture the difference is to follow with the camera. So let's say you have an object moving on the screen, you have to follow the object on the screen with your camera and try to have the same speed on your you
yeah,
move
that's yeah,
follow
I
the
know.
object basically, because that is going to simulate eye tracking. So when you're eye tracking the object, that's what you do. So if you follow the object on screen, you can capture exactly the same that you're seeing. So what they do, for example, on art teams to do the testing and to have a picture showing you if the new monitor has good motion clarity or not, is that they have a machine that controls the speed, so you can have exactly the same speed on the machine that has the camera mounted to the object that's on the screen. And they take a picture, and that's how it looks in motion, basically.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, Matt, how are you? So S95C with 10-bit HDR calibration can't be beat. So this is what because in the very beginning I was of course between G3 and S95C. And so I skipped the S95B because of several things, because it was out of the box terrible in terms of picture, or in not in terms of picture quality, but it was oversaturated, stuff like that. And there was not really a chance for me because I don't have the high-end equipment to calibrate them. So that's why I said, no, I'm not going with this. I'm rather getting the G2 because first of all, out of the box, much better calibrated, and I can even do it with my colorimeter, you know? So, and then with the S95C, when I mean, you saw videos from FOMO or whatsoever, and also Classic Tech, and I talked to Matt and whatever, and they all actually went into, okay, I'm going to have a S95C because they tested this, of course. They calibrated the displays and said, bloody hell, this is really good now. I mean, it's probably the same display with some improvements, but they changed the software, changed how the display works, much better than the S95B. And that's why I think the S95C is the better TV over the G3. Full stop. And what I'm doing right now, what I'm using right now is Classic Tech calibration for BT 2020. So the color calibration. So it will not fit perfectly my TV. I'm fully aware of that because it's his measurement on his 77-inch versus my 65-inch TV. Of course, it's not the same. But I have to say I really like it because I can now use BT 2020 in content, and it's not oversaturated. The colors in the face looking normal, you know what I mean? And it's just I'm using now the full range from the TV, just in case
Absolutely.
there is something. But I mean, we know Netflix and co. Anyway, that's why I need to buy the new Spears and Munsell TV
Yeah,
CD.
but even if the
Terrible.
content, like we see now with this new HDR analysis tool, that the games are not pushing the colors too much. But even if the games or the content in general is not pushing the colors, you can increase the color saturation on your TV if you just want to see those colors, and you can see them. The only thing you have to make sure is that you're not clipping colors a lot. So what I would recommend for people who like vivid mode and vivid colors is to use a test pattern, a color clipping test pattern. And then, for example, if you have tone mapping on the TV, you have to understand, what's the clipping point of the TV depending on the tone mapping settings and depending on the content, if the TV is responding to the content. And then you can increase the color saturation as much as you like. Just make sure that you don't start losing details. You don't start clipping the colors too much, because vivid mode, it looks disgusting. It looks very bad because you have all the colors are clipping. And some people like vivid mode because they want to have a more colorful picture. So what I recommend is, okay, you like vivid mode, increase the colors. Just make sure that you're not losing details. You're not clipping everything because of that.
Yeah. Correct, yeah. So speak of the devil, yeah, classy. I'm very behind on videos, but have videos coming on a BT 2020 one for Samsung. Yeah, that's really that's really a good thing because I really like his settings, to be very honest. And again, I know they're not fitting my TV 100%, but we also need to understand that nowadays the TVs, the manufacturing are very close to each other. You know, there's not a huge difference anymore as we have seen with plasma TVs back then. You know, where each plasma TV was completely different because they didn't do a calibration whatsoever. So it's it's okay. It's in a range, I think, where we can say you can copy and paste settings, but don't expect, of course, a perfect calibration.
Yeah, if they are consistent, maybe it's like it is the difference is so small that it's not even noticeable. Like if it's not perfect, you cannot even tell the difference. Basically, if
So,
maybe you can copy the calibration settings on these QD OLEDs because they are consistent. I don't know. Maybe they are.
so Classy is writing, increasing color saturation will not increase colors, it reduce amount of visible colors. So, so in terms of, so it will not, so the color saturation, yeah, the color saturation can't be improved. That's right, because all what you're doing is actually oversaturating colors. If you think
So,
clearly.
well, again, Classy is an expert. He knows what he's talking about. But from my experience, it depends. So let's say you have SDR on this WRGB OLEDs. On this LG OLED, you have SDR and you have the color gamut on auto. And the TV it clamps the color gamut. So that's all you're gonna get. But if the TV is set to native color gamut, if you increase the colors, I believe you're getting more color saturation. So let's say if you have a test pattern, you have a color clipping test pattern, and you can see from 0 to 255, and you're able to see all the separation from 0 to 255 of the color red, for example, which is the most challenging color that I see on these WRGB OLEDs. If you increase the color saturation and you can still see from 0 to 255, there's no problem. And you're getting a more colorful picture. Now, if you will see the clipping point, you will see when that 254 is starting to disappear. It looks the same. Let's say 250 looks the same as 255. Then you are losing details. Then you're clipping colors. But as long as you can see all the separation, you're good to go. You're just getting a more colorful picture. That's what I believe. I might be wrong. Let me know.
He's writing, you are reducing colors in the inner part of the gamut and pushing them outwards. It reduces shades
Oh,
of little. Yeah, it
that
makes
makes
sense
sense.
because I mean, look, all what you have one information sent to the screen, and this is Rec 709, and now you're trying to display this in BT 2020. All what is you're stretching it. You're not getting more information. There's no way of getting more information. You know what I mean? So of course that it makes absolutely sense. That's why I think the problem is always the source. You know what I mean? If you're not getting the right content, you can change whatever you like on your TV. You're not getting a better picture. You know, if the content already is crap. You know.
Yeah. The thing is, for example, you play a game. I'm not sure if you remember Uncharted 4 or The Lost Legacy, where you
Yeah.
have these
Yeah.
scenes where you're driving the car on the forest.
Yeah.
You remember those scenes? I mean, the color green of the grass is so desaturated. It looks broken to me. If that was the creator's intent, I mean, that looks so ugly.
See,
I'm not sure if you remember that those
yeah,
green
yeah, yeah.
colors.
But you made a good point. You know, we don't know what the original picture should
Yeah,
look like.
for sure.
That's the problem. That's the biggest problem what we have. We don't know. Maybe they
Yeah,
like the picture like this, or maybe they tested this on a 15-year-old TV and said, "Oh, that's the green looks good."
yeah, but that
I
that
don't know.
those greens were looking so ugly to me, like just so bad, and I definitely have to push the colors. But yeah, I understand what he's saying. Basically, if you increase the color saturation, you're losing separation of the colors on the low end because you're pushing the colors outwards. But you're not gonna get a more colorful um, colors. Let's say if the content is trying to output the most colorful color, you will see it, even if you don't increase the color saturation. But what I see is that sometimes, when I'm looking at a test pattern, it does look more saturated, but maybe it's just my perception. But it makes sense. I understand what he's saying.
Yeah. So Naki or NACCY is the two best HDR analyzers guys on YouTube. Love it. Not sure if he must watch a different stream because I don't know. Is Vincent streaming at the moment? No.
We might be the only ones, maybe.
No, thank you very much. But we are probably not. Yeah, maybe the only one on YouTube, but not the best in general.
But
We're
there
trying
are
our
other
best, but
there are other
it's
channels that do the HDR analysis for the videos.
really I
There's
don't like
another
them.
channel. There's another channel. I don't remember the name. I think it does PS5 videos specifically. I think HDR analysis. Uh, but yeah, we might be the only ones.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah. Okay. But that's why the expectation is very low.
I
No, no,
ask
no.
you.
Look. Yeah.
I think you know what we have to do, Marcus. I think we
Yeah.
have to compare now with this new HDR analysis tool. Compare how good content, good HDR content, like movies, for example. But we have to find an example that is clean, okay? Because I got Avatar 2, for example, to do this. It's not a clean picture. It is full of noise. The black floor on Avatar 2 is, I believe, is film grain. So this is how it looks. You see at the close to zero on the graph, you see a noise. It's a noisy like
Jesus.
grass, noise that looks like grass. Then you have a separation. There's no information. There's a separation, and then you have the movie information. That's just a terrible thing because you
I,
can see it on the graph. It's just
but
noise.
I mean, what I'm so surprised, let's quickly talk about this tool. It's great tool. It's absolutely great tool. And what I'm always surprised when I'm testing games like Diablo or Baldur's Gate, all the games have perfect HDR black level on the user interface.
Oh, yes,
it's
you are right,
it's
man.
unbelievable. What
You
the
are right.
what the it is possible they're doing this, but the game itself has elevated
Yes.
black levels. Why
Yeah,
is this? Because the thinking of the need to compensate some light issues what people are having, or what? I don't get it.
that's
What
a
is it?
great point because, for example, with that point, we are definitely ruling out that what we have is like an RGB
Yes,
levels mismatch.
yes,
It is not because
absolutely.
otherwise
It's
everything would
not
be raised. It is
correct.
not.
Absolutely. And
Yeah,
I just realized it at some point I think in one of our last streams with Diablo 4, because you're always focusing on a bloody game and it's terrible, terrible. And I think there was a loading scene where after loading scenes, you have the original picture, and then maybe a second later, the user interface pops in, and then suddenly the whole information on the histogram drops down. It's like,
yeah.
what the hell? What was this? So, and then you realize that's the HUD. We have
Yeah.
perfect HDR black level or no elevated black levels in the HUD in Diablo 4. Nothing.
It
But
is
the
the
game,
same.
I don't get it.
Yeah, it's the same on Baldur's Gate. The
Yeah,
game is elevated, but the
correct.
HUD is perfect.
Yeah, correct. At least you can, with contrast slightly. I get it. You increase the colors, you make it a little bit more vivid and whatsoever. But I found the colors anyway very, very washed out with contrast setting 1. Absolutely washed out. The game looks terrible in my opinion in HDR with the standard settings. At least you can change it with the
Yeah,
contrast a little bit, which is not perfect, of course, because you still have slightly black level rays. But I found it's just fine-tuned dark area setting -4 is not a big deal, to be honest. So for most of the people even in a complete dark room, it's very hard to see, very hard to see. But
another thing I wanted. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
no, I forgot
I,
what to say.
I wanted to say that to use this HDR analysis tool, is better to turn off anti-aliasing if it's possible on the game, because I see that TAA and DLSS, these temporal anti-aliasing techniques, they affect the way we see it on the graph. Basically, that noise we see it on the graph, and
Yeah,
it affects the minimum CLL reading. So we want that minimum CLL to be 0. So you turn off all the HUD. So you remove all the HUD from screen, turn off anti-aliasing if possible. Then you will get the real information. You will see the real information, minimum CLL to tweak the black levels. But I have to say, Marcus, I'm not sure if you've played with this yet. There is a new shader that is called Black Level Floor Fix that has been updated by Lilium, the creator of these shaders. And it is absolutely amazing because it has an option that is called SDR, Black Floor Emulation. So you just hit one click and the black level race goes down perfectly. I'm talking about the work that we have to do manually to just lower everything is done for you automatically. It just does this, boom, and
Yeah,
the
but
picture is fixed.
that's not good for us because how should I do a 8-minute video then?
No, you
No,
can.
no, but
You still have tweakings. You still have
yeah,
tweakings,
let
and
let me
sometimes
ask. Yeah, let me ask you a question. But so if this, because I saw your videos and I'm not commenting on all your videos, so maybe I should do this. But anyway, I'm not doing this on my PC very often. And I'm not playing with the shaders on my PC. I'm more the console guy. But I need to get into PC more, especially after I bought my 4080 actually. But let me ask you, if this one click changes the black level floor, what is with the user interface symbols which are not having
you
HDR
don't
black
crush
level
it.
rays?
You don't
You
crush
don't
it.
crush it?
No,
No?
because the way this thing lowers the black level is not like increasing the gamma. It's not like lowering everything. What it does is remapping the values. So, for example, imagine that near black you have like something that looks like a wave or something. You will still have a wave, it's just gonna be compressed. So you see the information, it's just now perfectly close to black. And actually, now with the update, the black floor has a line that you can see. So you see a line, a straight line. So it is very clear to see what is the black floor. So when you use this emulation, you see the line going perfectly down to 0. But we still have a setting to tweak. There is like an intensity to this effect. And if you increase that intensity, you get it darker and you might crush some near black details. But the default value, the number that's by default, is working very nicely for most games. And what I find out so far testing multiple games is that this works more often than not flawlessly. And it's just one click, you fix HDR. Now you have to keep in mind that the max CLL is gonna change a little bit. So the maximum peak brightness that the game is trying to output is going to change a little bit when you use this setting. But that's not a problem because if you are using reshape, you can see that change. You can see it on the analysis tool. So you can tweak the setting. So anyone using this new HDR analysis tool on the PC will learn how to make the game look good because you have a graph right there that's telling you. Okay, you will very quickly after you try this 1 or 2 times, you will learn how to set it up, and it is so easy.
Yeah, now again, I need to get into PC stuff a little bit more often, and I think that's the last thing I like to raise because it's over now. I would like to keep this way below 2 hours actually the stream if you don't mind because 2 hours
Yeah,
people not watching this they're actually sleeping already. Hey, wake up. No, but the last thing what I like to because I really like to do more stuff, but the problem is time at the moment, which is so frustrating. One part it's frustrating because you have so many ideas what you like to do and then you realize just forget it, there's no time to do it. And the other thing is also, I don't know how you feel when you do content and you put a lot of work in. So my sometimes you have to do this prepare a video for hours. So that's how I have to do it with testing, with the recording and stuff like that. It can take hours, take hours, and then you just get 1,000
yeah,
views or whatsoever. Or even in one video, I lost actually my Formula One video. What I did, thank you Electronic Arts for the review code anyway. But I just I don't know, not even 1,000 views. I mean, this video doesn't, no one wants to play Formula One, but anyway, but I lost actually a subscriber, 2 subscribers on this video. I don't know why. I don't get this. Maybe they're subscribed because of a different video, because of something else. But this is very frustrating, absolutely frustrating, because you spend so much time on doing something, and it doesn't pay out. Not at all.
Yeah,
And
it's just it's not the amount of views; it's that it goes below that, your expectations or what you
absolutely, I
usually
mean,
do.
I
Yeah,
get it that I'm very sure that I pre-ordered Baldur's Gate on the PlayStation 5, even I have it on the PC, but I'm looking forward to play this on the PlayStation 5 as well and see the differences. And I hope this is a little bit better in terms of performance, my videos, because, and I hope the maybe HDR is slightly better than on the PlayStation 5 than in PC, but I doubt it. But that the problem is you spend so much money. Of course, you're not getting the bloody money back anyway. It's $120 because it's just a digital version, and because you like to play it a little bit earlier than late, because that's also a factor. If you're releasing a video a week later, you get not even half the views. You know it exactly.
yeah,
If you have a topic and you make a video the first, you get a views, and that's how it is at the moment. Because the problem is, really, I'm working 8, 9, 10 hours a day. You come home, you have to prepare food. You can't just start doing a video, and it doesn't work like that. You have to bring out the bloody, you have to do laundry. You get the point.
yeah, yeah,
That's how it is. If you have probably 10 million subscribers, you have a housemate. You don't need to do anything. But then you're doing this for full time. That's also different. So you have time. So at the moment, it's just frustrating. It's just frustrating because I would like to do more content, but then on the other hand, you sit here and think, should you do this video? No, it's not worth it, really. I think, and that's maybe a question for the chat. We have 37 viewers. Thank you. Should I do a follow-up video on Final Fantasy 16 and Jedi in terms of performance, because it's still not fixed and it will be never fixed? So that's actually the whole video. There's
yeah,
not much to say about it. It will be
yeah.
not fixed, and but this is something, I don't know if it's worth to spend the time. Or I just make a very quick video with no research at all, not doing any testing, and just talk about this. Maybe this,
I
just
believe it is worth it because we have a platform, we have a voice, and I think we can help change things. And not because this company is here to listen to the feedback. It's because people, you know, more people sharing this information, this thing, it can maybe help change things. So we dedicated the first part of the stream just to say Rockstar, it's just not doing a good enough job. And we have a lot of maybe useful information that we can share, but it is also important to have our voice heard when
and
we see something that's
I
not
agree with
right.
you. I agree with you. So for Horizon Forbidden West back then, I made a video for every single patch to see if it's actually fixed. And I don't know how many patches they actually released. So with Final Fantasy 16 and Jedi, it's different because they're not releasing patches. They don't care. So that's a different story. So, at least for Horizon Forbidden West, I was able to take the patch, analyze it, and then present something. But there's nothing to show for Final Fantasy 16 or Jedi. So all what I can do, and I agree with you, it's a good idea. We need to help them accountable. To do maybe a monthly updating video on this, and still not fixed. What are you doing? People paid $100. They like to have a stable performance mode. Do
I
something.
wanted to play Jedi because I played the first one, Jedi Fallen Order, and I wanted to play this one. I didn't even install it because it's not performing good enough.
Really? But
Yeah,
it's
I
much
didn't
better
even
than
try.
it should be much better than Jedi Survivor. Much, much better, to be honest. That's what I learned. I played it on the PlayStation 5 back then. Yeah, PlayStation 5, and there was no issue with 60 FPS whatsoever. No problem at all. But same quality in terms of graphic, I'm not sure. But even that, people saying Final Fantasy 16 is graphical impressive. I don't think so. To be honest, sorry to say this, it's not. It's not. The same with Jedi. It looks very low resolution, and it is low resolution. It looks not good. Full stop. So where I'm impressed actually is right now Baldur's Gate. And yeah, to answer the question, yes, I have stuttering in Baldur's Gate. And that's an issue with frame times and stuff like that. I mean, I think Digital Foundry proved this.
Yeah,
Which I would
probably.
love to do videos like that, but I don't have the time to invest this much. You know what I mean? You need to consider the problem is you get Baldur's Gate and you play for 2 hours, and then you say, "Oh, the performance is great," but the performance problem starting in Act 3 when you're in the city. You know, you need to play for 5 days to get there, and
Yeah,
I promise you, but so the difference between Digital Foundry and of course, I don't know if they're having if they're having chops or if the chop is Digital Foundry. I don't know. I don't know this. Probably, they're doing just Digital Foundry. That's a complete different story because then you play 8, 9, 10 hours a bloody game. You know what I mean? I can't do this. I can't play a game 8, 9 hours just to make then a video. It doesn't work. It doesn't work, unfortunately. We are not at this level at the moment. Anyway, but we have to start somewhere,
yeah,
And I think we're doing good. We're doing good.
yeah. Yeah, I do first
Anyway,
impressions better because I mean to do a game review, you have to beat the game, and it takes a long, long time.
yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. That's why first impression is for me, actually, anyway, the first 20 minutes of a game is very important, or half an
Yeah,
hour, because this decided if I play or not. Because
yeah,
sometimes I have just half an hour time or an hour, you know? And that's why I love Baldur's Gate, because you get dropped into the story. You have everything in the very beginning, very great beginning, and you're
yeah.
just hooked. Absolutely.
Yeah, I wanted to make a comment on what you say about making videos. Like I spent like 4 days trying to figure out the HDR settings for Hogwarts Legacy with this new tool that we have in this black level fixed shader. And of course, nobody's playing that game anymore, so that video didn't get the regular views that I get. But I still think it was important because it was something interesting, like a different thing a different way to fix that game. I think it's very interesting. What I did was basically reduce. So the game, it has the black level race. That game,
But you're talking about the
Hogwarts
PC
Legacy,
version, because
Hogwarts Legacy, the PC version.
yeah, I'm
Yeah,
quite sure it's actually pretty good on PlayStation 5. Anyway, continue.
yeah. So on the
Anyway,
PC, you see it on the graph. It is raised
yeah,
the black level. So what I did is I used this new HDR black level fix shader, and I you can actually type in exactly. It's called old black point, and then say the new black point to be 0. So basically, let's
okay.
say that the game has a black level raise that's 0.001 nit. You input, old black point 0.001 nit, new black point 0. So then you get that black floor, boom, perfectly in place. And then you have a roll off option, which is basically, you know, default is like 10 nits. That gives you the option to extend, because when you lower the black level, you need to make sure that everything needs to roll off. The remapping of the values needs to roll off, so you have a smooth gradients. So you have the option to change that 10 nits, 5 nits, depending if you just want to affect the very, very low end of the grayscale. But after you do that, the game still looks washed out.
Mm.
So what I did was, okay, I lowered that so it is perfect with this new black floor fix. And then I raised everything, the entire grayscale to then, no, I'm sorry. So I lowered this so it is perfect. Then I raise the entire grayscale, and then I lower it back again. Let me see if I let
Maybe
me
you
see if
should
I
watch the
remember
video again.
I think I forgot what I did. So what was what
Just
I
watch the
did there?
video, okay? People, just watch this video.
Oh, I have to watch the video again. So the idea was to make the near black look more deep, like it doesn't look raised. Okay, so it's
Yeah.
basically a compression of the near black. So it doesn't look raised; it looks like deep, and we have perfect blacks. That was the idea basically. So I used that black floor fix shader and the PROD 80 shaders. So yeah, what I did was basically this. I remember now. So I got this all black point, perfect. But instead of saying the new black point, make it 0, I raised it. So I raised everything. So then now I can lower the entire grayscale so it looks good. Because my idea, what I wanted to do was to lower the entire grayscale so the near black doesn't look as bright. And of course, if I get the perfect black floor, so it is perfect. So I set all black point. This is a value. Then the new one is 0. I cannot lower the entire grayscale because then I crush details near black.
Yeah.
So to prevent crushing details when lowering the entire grayscale, what I did was to get it perfect first, then set the new black point, raise, and then lower everything. And in that way, the game just looks fantastic, basically. Yeah, that was it. That's what I did. It's so weird that I, I forgot for a moment, but that's
It's nah, it's okay. It's just weird what you have to do to get a nice
yeah.
pitch, you know. Anyway, okay. I think that's enough. It's 1 hour 30. Um, I really think maybe I'm just because today Sunday no one is at home. You know, I have my piece here. Maybe I don't know what to do for a type of video, but maybe a quick one. And just watch it, please, okay? Just watch it. Now, really, I'm looking forward for, of course, Starfield. I got I pre-ordered Starfield to play it on the first day. I think it's the first when you can play it. I didn't get a bloody key, but I think million of people applied for a key. And of course, then Baldur's Gate. And there's so many. And there's what is the next Atlas Fallen? No, not Atlas Fallen.
Yeah.
Immortals. Shit. What was the game you talked
Avian.
about in your videos?
Um, yeah.
Yes.
Orders
This
of
is
Avian.
coming. I think in 2 days. 22nd. Or is release or 22nd?
Yeah.
I
It is.
think so. I will do a video on this. But maybe just the Xbox version, maybe, because if the game is really bad, then I got a review code for this game. Again, Electronic Arts. Thank you very much. I need to be very careful what I'm saying about Electronic Arts. No, that's the only company who really who is giving me review codes. Really, all other you get a lot when you apply for something, but it's just crap games. To be honest, yeah.
That's great.
No one is interested in watching this.
I
But
am I
anyway,
am hopeful. It is also coming soon. Armor Core. I am
oh yes,
optimistic. I'm
yeah.
optimistic about Armor Core because the performance. It seems like it is gonna be very good. It's not gonna have upscaling, unfortunately, but the game is not gonna be capped to 60 FPS like all other From Software games. For some reason, are capped to 60 FPS, and then you need to use a mod to get higher performance. So Armor Core is gonna be 120, so you can get at least 120. And it seems like based on the system PC system requirements, it doesn't seem like it is demanding. So it might run very well, which is great news. And if the game is good, that's a big win. So I am optimistic with Armor Core, and I think I'm gonna like
Yeah.
that game from what I've seen. So yeah,
No worries. Okay, then I think that's the best to stop or end here. What do you think?
yeah, that
Was
sounds good.
cool. So again, we're doing this. We're doing this for sure every second week, bi-weekly. Uh, I I try when I have time. You know, maybe next Saturday. But again, Sunday. Sorry, Saturday for you, Sunday for me. But again, it's impossible actually with full house, to be honest. But anyway, bi-weekly works, and it works great. So let's continue this. We just need a name for our little club here, you know? We need a name. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. Let's create a
Digital
name for
Digital Foundry weekly chat for poor people. Sorry.
we do it differently. We do it live. We do it live. We do
Oh
it
yeah, that's
differently.
correct. We are live.
Yeah.
We are absolutely live. Yeah. Really. Shit. We need to be careful.
Yeah, I would like you to check out if you can make a video about this new HDR black floor fixed shader on
Of
the
course. I
PC
have so much
to
time,
reach
Android.
out
I
to
already
more
told you.
people because I
Okay.
think it is a game changer for the PC. Like I mean, one click and it fixes everything. That's something that people need to know.
I
Because
need
of
to look
that,
into this, but yeah.
yeah, because of that, I think HDR gaming on the PC is in a much better place. So if you can make a video about that, it would be great, so more people know about that, learn about it.
Okay, no worries, no worries. Okay, I think I'm going to just making a quick rant video about Jedi and Final Fantasy 16, and
Yeah,
and have a couple of PlayStation 5 boys getting angry at me, but I don't care.
That's necessary. We have
That is
to.
necessary.
Yeah, it is
Absolutely
necessary.
necessary. Anyway, okay. Now then, thank you very much for joining me, Ariel.
Thank you.
And
Thank you for having me.
yeah, no worries. Okay. Thank you very much, Chet. Was great to having you. See you next time. Okay. Bye bye.
Bye.